Good morning, everyone. How are you? I hope you are all doing fine. Today, we are going to finish the last part of the lesson. And after this, we are going to make a research that you will enjoy a lot. Now, we were talking yesterday about the water cycle. We talked briefly about it, and we talked about how the water cycle affects the weather and the climate. Today, we are going to talk in more details about this and end this lesson up. So let us start by this video.
Water covers more than 3/4 of Earth's surface. Earth's water is always being recycled. The movement of Earth's water from Earth's surface to its atmosphere and back again is called the water cycle. Any form of water that falls to Earth is called precipitation. You may know precipitation as rain, snow, or hail. Precipitation may sink into the soil and become groundwater. Groundwater may seep from the ground into lakes, rivers, or the ocean. The sun's warmth causes water to evaporate. Condensation turns water vapor in the air into liquid droplets in clouds or fog. Precipitation falls from clouds and the cycle starts again. The water cycle is a main factor that causes daily weather conditions. Weather is the day-to-day changes in temperature, winds, precipitation, and other conditions. Climate is the average of weather conditions over a long period of time, usually 30 years. Climate includes average temperatures, average amounts of precipitation, and how much the temperature changes during the year. Just as the water cycle affects daily weather conditions, it also affects climate. For example, places near the ocean often receive a lot of precipitation. This is a weather pattern caused by the evaporation and condensation of the water cycle.
Okay, so after you watch the video, I want you please to pause the lecture and tell me and answer these two questions. The first question is what causes water to evaporate? So this is the first question. What causes the water from the oceans and all the body waters to evaporate? And the second question is, what is the difference between weather and climate? Okay, after you answer these two questions, let's continue, please. Okay, so yesterday we talked about recycling water, and we said that we have a certain amount of water on the earth, and the earth's water is constantly being recycled and no water is being lost. So the water moves from the earth's surface into the atmosphere and back from the atmosphere to the earth's surface. As we said yesterday, that the earth's water exists in three different phases, which are the solid, the liquid, and the gas. And the sun's energy powers this process. So the sun's energy is the power that controls this water cycle process. Well, as I said, that the steps of the water cycle are very easy. The sun heats the liquid water on the Earth's surface. This water changes into gas, so it changes from liquid to gas. This gas is called water vapor. The first step is called evaporation. This water vapor will rises into the air where it's very cold. So because of the low temperature up in the atmosphere, this water vapor will cool and condense, which will form the clouds by a process called condensation. These clouds form when water droplets and ice crystals gather in the atmosphere, and these droplets and crystals will combine and grow larger. Eventually, they will fall back to the earth. Any form of the water that falls to the earth is called precipitation. So this third process is called precipitation. Types of precipitation include rain, snow, sleet, and hail. So any form of water that falls from the Earth's atmosphere to the ground is called precipitation. So this is the water cycle in general. If you notice that I didn't highlight these steps, although they are important, because they are covered in the next pages. So I want you please to answer this question, which is page 273 in your book. So pause the video, answer the question, and then continue, please. So, as we said, the movement of water from the Earth's surface to the atmosphere and back again is called the water cycle. So, you can find that we have two pages here, which are pages 274 and 275. You can see that they are next to each other and they have the water cycle. What I want from you is to fill in the blanks, complete the captions in the diagram, fill each blank with the correct word, and study these well. I will be sending the answers for you on Classera by tomorrow. But I want you please to try to solve them because they are very important, and you are going to study the water cycle from this picture, not from the paragraph from the previous page. So it will be easier for you to see them as this, as a water cycle, rather than just studying them as a paragraph. Okay. Now, we said that the water cycle affects the weather a lot. Well, it's a main fact that causes daily weather conditions such as the clouds and precipitation, because the weather is the result of how water, air, and temperature interact together. For example, the temperature of air in the atmosphere affects the type of precipitation that falls. Water falls as rain when air in the atmosphere is above freezing, so it's not very cold. So water falls as rain when the temperature in the atmosphere is not very cold, while it falls as snow when when the temperature is very cold. So this is how the water cycle affects the weather. And we discussed this picture yesterday, if you remember, and we said that this picture shows if the evaporation is occurring more often than precipitation. So a drought is a large period of dryness with little or no precipitation. Long periods of rainfall or heavy storms can cause flooding, and a thunderstorm can happen when warm, moist air rises quickly into much cooler air. So this is how the water cycle affects the weather. Now finally, we're going to talk about the water cycle and climate. Well, the difference between the weather and the climate is that the weather is considered to be on daily basis, while climate is the pattern of weather in a place over many years, usually 30 years. Just as the water cycle affects the daily weather condition, it also affects the climate. Well, by this, we are done this chapter. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, which was our last lesson. For tomorrow, you will have an instruction sheet posted on Classera on a nice activity that you're going to do. You will have 2 days to submit. And on Thursday, we are going to have our last assessment. And the next week, we're going to have a revision for everything that we took to make sure that you understood everything. So if you have any question, please do not hesitate to post it on the discussion room or send it as a private message on Classera. I hope you have a nice day.